WFYI podcasts are brought to you by TechPoint, presenting the 25th Annual Best of Tech Mira Awards, recognizing digital innovation across Indiana, April 26th at Old National Center. More, including how to nominate, at miraawards.com.
This is WFYI News Now. It's January 9th, and I'm Darian Benson. On today's show, lawmakers kicked off this year's legislative session. We'll find out what Democrats and Republicans are planning. And Indiana aims to overhaul how children learn to read with a statewide mandate to follow the scientific research.
Some are like, this is a trend. It'll come and go again. But I don't think this is going anywhere. It's best practice.
Those stories coming up. But first, a new Indianapolis City-County Council gathered for its first full meeting last night. Jill Sheridan has more.
The council elected Allie Brown as its new vice president. Former council VP Zach Adamson lost his re-election bid last year. Other council leadership remains unchanged, including Vaught Bosley as president. The 25-member city legislative body has 7 new members, 6 Democrats and 1 Republican. Brianne Delaney is the only female in the new group.
And I'm excited to get to work and do great things for the city.
Numerous proposals for 2024 were introduced at the meeting, including committee and agency appointments and reappointments. I'm Jill Sheridan.
And as the 2024 legislative session kicked off yesterday, Democrats and Republicans' priorities are coming into focus. Indiana House Democrats say their agenda is centered on economic freedom, including a higher minimum wage, property tax relief, and expanded pre-K education. House Democratic leader Phil Giaquinta says too many Hoosiers aren't truly free.
They can't be conned by empty boasts about freedom when their opportunities and choices grow more narrow by the day. They know economic bondage because they're living it.
The House Democrats' agenda include raising the minimum wage to $15 an hour, making union dues tax deductible, providing a homestead tax credit, and enacting universal pre-K. Giaquinta says the legislature should also allow citizen-led ballot initiatives for Hoosiers to more directly speak on important issues.
I don't know about you, but I have a strong suspicion that Hoosiers don't like the government telling them what to do on abortion or marijuana.
None of those agenda items are likely to go anywhere in Indiana's Republican supermajority legislature. On that side of the aisle, Indiana House Republicans want to build on their efforts to better align high school education with workforce training in the 2024 session. The caucus's top priority bill would allow state scholarship programs, such as 21st Century Scholars and the Frank O'Bannon Grant, to be used for workforce training, not just traditional 2- and 4-year degree programs. House Speaker Todd Houston says it helps further the goal of making a more relevant high school experience.
Getting more kids into high school classes, they're going to prepare them for college and the workforce.
Houston says the caucus will also prioritize giving public pension retirees a 13th check this year, an extra month of benefits.
Well, the House has always supported that initiative, and last year, as part of the budget negotiations, it just didn't come to fruition. We wanted a chance to do it again this year.
House Republicans share that priority with their House Democratic colleagues. And for our final story today, Indiana aims to overhaul how children learn to read with a statewide mandate to follow the latest scientific research. But experts say that for the change to take hold, it'll take work and buy-in from educators around the state. Dylan Pierce-McCoy reports on the change in one district.
Make a G sound. Or gut, 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 gut. Thumbs up or down, Henry, can you feel your voice, feel your vocal cords vibrating?
Morgan Odell has taught lots of little kids to read. She's a 2nd grade teacher, so it's one of the most important things she does. But it used to be her least favorite subject.
The kids would get so frustrated and down on themselves. We'd have to really work to kind of build them up.
Odell has taught for about 7 years. In the past, she says she spent more time on drills. She'd teach kids to memorize common words. But this school year, the Lafayette School District where she teaches is making a big shift. Odell and other teachers are learning a new approach to reading that places a lot more emphasis on how we say words and the sounds that letters make.
We're really helping them understand these sounds and these phonics skills.
That's important because research shows that the process of sounding out words helps readers learn to recognize them.
Sometimes your voice vibrates.
In a recent class, Odell taught her students how to tell whether they're using their vocal cords to say words. Kids put their hands to their throats.
If your throat is not vibrating, you are not using your vocal cords. You're using the air in your mouth to make this.
The more we know about specific aspects of speech and speech sounds, the better able we are to read.
Catherine McBride is a professor at Purdue University. She's a psychologist who studies reading and disabilities like dyslexia. McBride says that to comprehend text, people need several skills. They need background knowledge, and they need to understand vocabulary and sentence structure.
But if you can't recognize the words on the page, the rest, you can't get to the rest because you're just not going to be able to read at all.
The scientific research into how people learn to read has gotten a lot of attention recently from parents, educators, and politicians. In Indiana, the legislature passed a bipartisan law last year that requires all schools to use research-backed reading curriculum beginning next fall. That legislation caught Alicia Clevenger's attention. She's an assistant superintendent in the Lafayette schools, where Odell teaches. When Clevenger learned more about the science of reading, she realized the district needed to change.
We had pieces of that explicit phonics instruction, but not everything.
The Lafayette schools are getting new class materials, and they hired an outside coach to work with educators. Clevenger says that when they started talking about the science of reading, there were teachers who dismissed the new approach.
Some are like, this is a trend. It'll come and go again. But I don't think this is going anywhere because of legislation. But more importantly, it's best practice.
Clevenger says that some teachers who were reluctant at first have changed their minds as they see the new strategies work for other educators.
This word begins with a voice TH digraph.
The new approach made Morgan Odell nervous. She'd spent years practicing a different way of teaching. But about a semester in,
I don't have a kiddo in here that it's not working for.
Odell believes her second graders will be stronger readers throughout school. I'm Dylan Piers-McCoy.
That's all for today's episode of WFYI News Now. Our podcast is produced by the following people who live in your community: Abriana Herron, Drew Daudelin, Kendall Antron, who composed the music for this podcast, and me, Darian Benson. Our news director is Sarah Neal-Estes. If you liked today's episode, remember to subscribe and share. And follow WFYI on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube to check in on our newsroom throughout the day. Thanks for listening. We'll be back tomorrow.
WFYI podcasts are brought to you by TechPoint, presenting the 25th Annual Best of Tech Mira Awards, recognizing digital innovation across Indiana, April 26th at Old National Center. More, including how to nominate, at miraawards.com.